Hello and welcome to the Mindful Caregiver Breathing Circle. My name is Sabrina. I am a mindfulness teacher, a meditation instructor, an energy worker, and your guide inward for today's session. I'm so thankful that you're here joining us today. And before I get started, I'd like to share with you what it is the Mindful Caregiver Breathing Circle actually is, what it entails, and what you can expect from this session and beyond. So each session is about 30 to 40 minutes, and it is standalone, which means you don't have to see a session beforehand to understand and grasp what's going on in this one. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. I'm thankful that you have made this a priority in your well-being and your mental health practices. So these sessions are divided into 3 parts. The first part is intention setting, which is the very beginning where I let you know what today's session is going to be about. And then we set an intention, we ground into our body, we get in touch with our breath, and we transition from whatever we were doing to now being here, being with our intention, and hopefully closing out some of those mental tabs that we've had open for the whole day or maybe even the whole week. The next part is going to be a dharma talk where I'll share a quote or a passage that really resonates with me, and I'll share a bit of a talk where you can really understand a little bit deeper about our intention and how it's practically applied in your life. And then the last part will be our mindfulness practice. And today's practice is going to be a meditation on gratitude and kindness for ourselves and for others. So let's get started. The intention for today is gratitude. And gratitude is something that can often be one of those buzzwords, just be grateful. And when we put something like the word just in front of it, we can often diminish its meaning. So today I share with you that gratitude, today's intention, I should say, is today I choose gratitude for each moment experienced. Now, I extend that with compassion and definitely non-judgment, because I know that finding gratitude in our day-to-day, especially in the stuff that frustrates us, is not always easy. And for some of us, it may feel impossible, particularly for caregivers. Because as I've mentioned in sessions before, you are not only managing your own emotions and your own self, but you often may be finding yourself managing emotions for others, for those that you care about. And in those moments, it might get a little challenging to remember to be grateful for what frustrates you, to find gratitude in the really, really hard stuff. So welcome everybody. I'm so happy there's people here today. This is the first time, so that I'm very grateful to see you guys. And today's intention is gratitude. And the affirmation that I'm extending your way is, today I choose gratitude for each moment experienced. So I want to share a quote, and then this quote will lead us right into our dharma talk today. And this quote is by Thich Nhat Hanh. And it goes like this: when there are wars within us, it will not be long before we are at war with others, even those we love. That last line really hits home, particularly if you are a caregiver for a family member or a loved one. If we are at war with ourselves, if we are experiencing inner turmoil, for whatever reason. It could be completely unrelated to the people that we're dealing with, but it will eventually outpour into our relationship, into the way that we speak to others, treat others, care for others. And that inner turmoil will eventually begin to saturate our relationships. So I offer today's intention as gratitude, even for the inner turmoil, even for the stuff that's really not so easy to deal with, not so easy to accept, particularly circumstances that aren't easy to allow into our lives and to be grateful for. Finding gratitude in frustration is a practice, because being grateful for the good stuff, the stuff that people say you should be grateful for, right? The essentials in your life, that comes a little bit easier. Fresh air, sunshine, water, being able to have clean running water, or, being able to do your dishes and have the capacity to take care of somebody else. These are things that, although it may be easier to be grateful for, sometimes those easy things, in a way, get overlooked because we're so used to them. And so today I actually want you to bring to mind some frustrations, some circumstances or life situations that maybe unfolded for you recently. And nothing too heavy, nothing that, would distract you entirely from today's session. But I want you to bring to the surface something that may be bothering you. Something that you, at this point in time, maybe can't imagine finding gratitude in. Maybe it's hard for you to see that there is something to be grateful for. Maybe it's hard for you to see that there can be something to be thankful for. And so I want to go ahead and get comfortable and get ready to set our intention today. So wherever you are, seated, lying down, I just want you to, if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes or soften your gaze to about the tip of your nose. And we're just going to relax into our body a little bit. If you're seated, placing your feet flat on the ground beneath you, allowing your shoulders to fall away from your ears. And you can place your hands wherever is comfortable, upright or facing down on your lap. And if you're lying down, just making sure that you're in a spot that's comfortable, but that you won't get too comfortable and fall asleep. You can bend your knees and place your feet flat on the ground, or you can lay your legs flat and have your arms beside you. And however the breath is showing up in your body, just allow it. Just notice it. Notice if you feel it in your nostrils or in your mouth. If you are connecting with the rise and fall in your chest or your abdomen. And just noticing how the breath fluctuates and flows without you having to do much. This can be our first practice of gratitude today. expressing gratitude for the breath in the body, and how, whether we pay attention to it or not, it will flow. It may be rigid, it may be shallow, it may be deep or shaky. However your breath is showing up for you today. See if you can express gratitude for how it shows up, for where it shows up, or for the simple fact that it is showing up for you. And while you're in this relaxed state, I'd like to share an affirmation with you. Take it if it works, leave it if it doesn't. Today I am grateful for my mind, my body, and all that they do for me. Today I am grateful for my mind, for my body, and for what they do for me. I am whole, complete, and safe. For that I am grateful. I am whole, complete, and safe. And for that I am grateful. In a moment, I'm going to ring the bell and begin our mindfulness practice. As a gentle reminder, the mind will wander. It is the nature of the mind to think and analyze and find something to focus on. So if you find throughout this practice that you've become hooked on a mental tab, on a narrative, a judgment, or anything flowing through your mind's eye, gently unhook yourself and come back to the breath as it waits for you in the present moment, always. In a few moments, I'm going to ask you to bring to mind a particular circumstance, something that's possibly unfolded for you recently, and that offers you the opportunity to extend gratitude toward a frustration, a challenge, or an obstacle in your life. Allow whatever surfaces naturally to be the story that you choose. But if at any point it becomes too distracting or too heavy, remember you can always put it down, come back to the breath, and choose again. Today's practice originates from an acronym that I teach my students, and that acronym is GEEK, Geek. Although it may sound silly, GEEK is a stress reduction practice that can be as long or as short as you need it to be. Think of it as your SOS to stress. This can be a simple formula that you extend toward yourself in those times of inner turmoil so that you can stop it from pouring out into your life and possibly leaking into some of your most cherished and important relationships. GEEK stands for gratitude, ego, expectations, and finally, kindness. I'll be guiding you through questions for each of these letters. Just allow these questions to wash over you. Allow your answers to naturally surface. There's no trying. We're just being and allowing. Gratitude is often easier for things that are pleasant, that invite positive emotions. But it doesn't have to stop there. In fact, it may be even more powerful to practice gratitude for those unpleasant moments, for that which frustrates us, challenges us, pushes us to our limit. So take a moment and recall a circumstance in your life that tests you, that's pushed you to your perceived limits. And as you bring this to your mind's eye, notice any tensions that may be building in your body. any physical sensations or reactions to the movie playing in your mind. And with a deep inhale and a long exhale, release any tightness you may be holding on to. And simply focus on the emotion that this story brings up for you. Ask yourself, how can I bring gratitude to this moment or this current circumstance? Notice how this question is worded. You are the one that brings the gratitude. Gratitude is in your hands. How can I bring gratitude to this moment or current circumstance? What is there to be thankful for? Even if it's a lesson or an insight. What is there to be thankful for? Even if it's a lesson or an insight. Again, allow these answers to surface within you naturally. There's no right or wrong answer. And if you struggle to find one, maybe you don't have much clarity on exactly how to be grateful or what to choose, that's okay. Let it go. However this experience was for you, thank yourself for being open enough to try. And let go of the questions and the answers as we move on to the next letter. Next, we're talking about the ego, the I that often gets in the way of solutions and can often cause some problems for ourselves. It's the wall that we build between us and them, making unity difficult. So keeping that frustration, that challenge, or difficult emotion in mind, ask yourself, where is my ego getting in the way? And how can I practice letting go? Where is my ego getting in the way? And how can I practice letting go? It's important to remember that letting go is indeed a practice, not something you choose once and it stays with you. With each mindful moment that you choose to be aware of yourself, of what goes on within, you can also be aware of what you may be holding on to and what may not be serving you anymore. With a deep inhale and a long and slow exhale, let go of whatever heaviness you may be holding on to. Releasing your questions, your answers, and all of the stories that may be swirling in your head. Release them with gratitude, compassion, and allow yourself to move on to the next letter. Next, we have expectations, which can be quite similar to the ego in that we cling and we attach and we hold on to what we perceive to be right or true. Ask yourself, what expectations am I attaching to others that are causing me to suffer? What expectations am I attaching to others that are causing me to suffer? Extend this question to yourself without judgment. Just allow whatever answers surface to flow. In what ways can I begin to let go? In what ways can I begin to let go? Just by asking yourself these questions and being open to the answers or responses that come up within you, you are one step closer to inner peace and being able to extend that to those that you care for most. Taking a long inhale and a slow and deep exhale. Let go of these questions and answers. As we move on to our final letter, K for kindness. Kindness must first begin within. For if we are extending it to others without extending it to ourselves, we will soon be depleted. But if we fill up our own cup first, there's plenty more where that came from for others. So let's end this practice with kindness by asking, how can I first express that to myself so that I can continue to express kindness to those I care for? How can I express kindness to myself first so that I may continue to express kindness to those that I care for? I invite you to bring your hands on top of your heart center. As a simple expression of kindness and gratitude to your heart, to your body, and to yourself for sitting and prioritizing this practice. The more that we express kindness toward ourselves, just for showing up, the more likely we are to have that kindness pour out for those who show up for us and for those that we are constantly showing up for. Each moment, each practice is an opportunity to choose kindness and to choose peace over and over again. In a moment, I will ring the bell to signify the end of this practice. And I encourage you to keep with you the kindness and the gratitude that you've expressed to yourself in your mind's eye. Because even though it may be on a situation that has passed, or maybe one that you're anticipating and hasn't happened yet, just by cultivating the awareness within, you've already created shifts in what's possible for you. I thank you and I honor you for sharing this space with me today. May you be well, and may you keep this practice with you in your heart. own time, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, making small movements in your body until you're ready to open your eyes and come back to the room around you. I encourage you to move slowly out of this posture, out of this practice, and do so with intention as you continue the rest of your day and your week. This intention today will follow you because you've set that as your anchor. And so kindly remind yourself when things get frustrating or challenging or obstacles seem to have more power over you than gratitude. Remind yourself to take it one practice, one moment, one opportunity for peace at a time. And if you miss this one, well, that's okay, because as John Kabat-Zinn says, as long as there is breath in your body, there is more right with you than wrong with you. And I like to believe that as long as there's another breath cycle flowing through your body, you've got another chance, another opportunity to choose again. You bring the gratitude. The choice is always yours. And I hope that you continue to choose gratitude and kindness and peace for yourself so that it is way easier to choose it for others. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm very excited to finally have someone in here live. That was very exciting. And I hope to see you again next week, or 2 weeks, I believe. But I hope to see you next month at our next session. And I didn't mention this earlier, but this session and all the other sessions are recorded. So if you have any issues with that, please reach out and let me know. But they will be posted on YouTube so that you can review this practice and listen to it at your own pace and in your own time, and to create this as your own personal practice. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. My name is Sabrina, and I am so thankful to be your mindfulness instructor, and I hope to see you at the next session. Have a good night.